And then aside from Spotify, I mean, you've got all kinds of things that you're doing with social media. I know you've got a members newsletter, and you're giving away character profile templates for anybody that wants to go and sign up. Is that right?
Yeah, it's just like a simple template that you can use as inspiration, and you can edit it however you'd like. But I do really feel like it's important to know your character and to know all of your characters. And so that's kind of a way to get to know them and figure out what they look like and figure out what their hobbies are. And once you really get to know your character, then when you put them in a scene, they kind of just come alive. And so it's actually easier and more consistent, also consistency, when you have it written down.
And these are templates that you use when you start a new story?
Not when I started, but yeah, because like at the beginning, I learned the hard way that I was doing it wrong, and so I had to learn through it. But definitely I do have these templates now for my characters. That's kind of how I keep track of them, because there's actually a lot of characters in this book. And then for other books as well, I create these profiles for them. And it's especially helpful when I've left a project, because when I come back to it after, who knows, months, maybe years, I can go and read not just the story, but I can read the character profiles and see, oh yeah, this is what they are, this is what they look like, this is the past that I created for them, and how that past would affect their future, or the way that they talk, or the way that they act. And all that just kind of like comes back, and you don't have to make it up again.
So for all the folks that are right now rushing to sign up for your newsletter, because I want to get those templates, what else can they expect to receive? How often do you send out notices to your newsletter, and what do you find are the best uses for your mailing list?
Well, I do also offer a world building template as well. It's sort of like a similar thing with characters, except it's just, you know, what's your world? What does it look like? Different things about like the period and all that, just something to put in there, because it doesn't even matter if you're writing fantasy or if you're writing a book set in modern day Texas. You need to do research, and it's a lot easier if you have that research written down, because then you don't have to redo the research every single time you write. So that's one thing that they can find on there. And then I don't try to like spam people with tons of emails, so they'll probably get an email from me, or sorry, like a newsletter email from me once a month or once every 2 months, and it's just like updates. Lately it's been a lot of things about Sea of Kings and different contests they could have participated in up to the release of Sea of Kings, and then just different things that I'm doing. Like I will put, you know, this podcast would go in my newsletter so that they can watch it, and other appearances that I've made on interviews, or I'll be a judge soon on a in a writing thing, and don't ask me what the name of it is because I just forgot. But I'm doing like a bunch of different things. So the newsletter is just kind of like a way to keep people informed, give them the resources they need if they're interested in writing, but also even if they're not interested in writing, they can still come to the newsletter and just learn more about me and my books and my writing.
I mean, and presumably anybody that's signing up for the Melissa Hope newsletter wants to know more about Melissa Hope, so it's good that you're sending them all this information.
Yeah, well, I hope so. I hope that this can keep us connected, like as a community, and definitely those subscribers are going to be the first to know important information, like if there's a book 2, or if I get another book deal, you know, like those kind of things. They'll be the first to know.
And aside from YouTube, where we all agree that you're killing it, and the newsletter, which sounds like a tremendous value, what other social media platforms have you found you're getting the most bang for your buck on?
I do really like using Instagram. That's probably the one I use the most. I just feel really comfortable on there for some reason, and I like message people there a lot, and I can connect with people there the most. But I do also have Twitter, and I do also have Facebook. I just am on there less. but I'm trying to be on all the platforms because I know people are not usually on all the platforms. Some people only want to have a Facebook account, or some people only want to use Instagram. So I do try to be on all of them just so that I can reach different audiences.
Yeah, I kind of have pulled way back from Twitter. So if you're following me on Twitter, look forward to my about 1 or 2 tweets a week reminding you of whoever came on the podcast. And once in a while, if I really like a movie trailer, I might comment on that. But otherwise, like I've made comments about which Batman is the best, and then I'll have 30 replies, and well, that's my afternoon.
Well, hey, you're more popular on Twitter than I am, that's for sure.
Well, I only want to say something dumb about pop culture that's not dumb, just like, who cares? Like, if you don't feel that Michael Keaton is the best Batman, you're wrong. But that's cool. Go enjoy your Batman. Live your life. I'll live mine. It's fine.
That's so funny. That's awesome. Yeah, Twitter it's really good for some things, but you have to like be careful with how you spend your time on all these different platforms. And I know people who love Twitter and that's all they use. And I know a lot of other people who have a hard time with it. And I think as an author, if you want to pursue writing, Twitter is a really good place to go because there are a lot of agents and editors on Twitter. But that doesn't mean that you need to be like throwing yourself out there. But following all these people, it's nice, it's helpful. It's cool to be connected.
Oh yeah, I still read Twitter on a regular basis, almost like I get done reading the news and then I read a few tweets. All right, well that's what's going on in the world. All covered.
Do you sometimes learn things from the news from Twitter first instead of like the actual news?
Oh sure, yeah, Twitter's much faster. They'll have video up of whatever the event is and everything else before CNN has updated their site.
Yeah, me too.
My wife is really great with Twitter. She works in tech for a living, and she will get mad at the news. She's like, "What? We knew about that 30 minutes ago. What are you guys doing? You're supposed to be reporters."
Oh, that is funny. Yeah, it's crazy how social media, what social media, what role it plays in our lives. It's crazy to see how involved we all are on these different platforms. I think it's really cool and beneficial for the most part. And so news is one that's really funny that she said that.
I think that there is something about trying to imagine the past. It becomes harder and harder for me to think of a time where folks didn't have the whole world in their pockets, where all the world's information most of the world's information is available at the tips of your fingers, as opposed to going back to if your town didn't have a library, best of luck. You know?
Yeah, I know. I was even just thinking about this the other day. Like, do I even remember what it was like not to have the internet, like, as such a huge part of my life, or having a phone that can connect me to the whole world, like it's crazy to think what people were doing before. It's hard to remember.